November 2022. Argentina is locked in a must-win match against Mexico with 26 minutes left on the clock. Lionel Messi finally breaks the deadlock, and as the stadium erupts, one man in the dugout breaks down in tears. That man is Pablo Aimar. He is part of a quiet, hitting group of 4 assistants, working in the shadows behind head coach Lionel Scaloni. To understand those tears, you have to look at what this team was in 2018. They were a wreck. The dressing room was fractured into isolated cliques, the players reportedly stopped listening to the manager, and they had just crashed out of the World Cup in Russia. The greatest player alive was carrying a dead team on his back. Messi had already retired from international duty once before, ground down by years of losing, and he was entirely alone inside his own camp. This failure stemmed from deep systemic flaws. No single manager or superstar could fix a group that had lost its sense of joy and connection. The Federation handed the rebuild to Lionel Scaloni, a man who had never managed a senior club in his life. Scaloni made a tactical gamble. He bypassed famous European tacticians and instead called home. He selected 4 homegrown legends to serve as specialists. He needed to rebuild the team piece by piece, restoring its heart, its spine, its mind, and its hands. To treat a generational illness, Scaloni required healers who were intimately known and bled for the exact same jersey. In 2018, the Argentine dressing room felt cold and hyper-competitive. It was a collection of strangers fighting for the spotlight rather than a team. Scaloni tasked Pablo Aimar with restoring the group's soul. Aimar focuses on warmth, being the first person to put an arm around a nervous rookie or makes them laugh, ensuring they feel safe before they ever step onto the pitch with global superstars. As a former number 10, Aimar translated this comfort into tactical integration. He worked with young strikers like Julian Alvarez, finding roles that allowed them to feed off Messi's creativity rather than compete with him for space. Aimar transformed the camp back into a family. He gave a lifeless team its heartbeat. Historically, Argentina suffered from a defense made of glass. They were notoriously fragile, gifting easy goals to opponents on the biggest stages. Scaloni brought in Walter Samuel, a man nicknamed the Wall, to harden the unit. Samuel drilled the young backline in the dark arts of defending, prioritizing organization and aggressive life-or-death tackling. Players like Christian Romero became fearless under Samuel's watch. The results were immediate. During the 2021 Copa America, this once fragile unit conceded only 2 goals across the entire competition. Samuel provided the uncompromising, hardened spine that the nation had lacked for an entire generation. Even with a solid defense, the squad carried a paralyzing psychological weight. A deep-seated fear of losing in finals haunted the players, leading to panic in high-stakes moments. Roberto Ayala understood this trauma firsthand. In the 2006 World Cup, he scored the opening goal against Germany, only to later miss his penalty in the shootout that sent Argentina home. Because Ayala survived the most painful experience the sport can offer, he was uniquely qualified to teach the new generation how to conquer their panic. He became the calm presence they needed on the sideline when the pressure reached its peak. Ayala served as the psychological bridge between a wounded past and a fearless future. He gave the group the mental composure to step into the Maracanã in 2021 and hold their nerve. The final historical weakness sat between the goalposts. For decades, the goalkeeper had been the team's fatal link in tournament football. Martín Tecali, the lone survivor of the previous regime, focused exclusively on refining Emiliano Martinez. Together, they spent years fine-tuning the technical details of every dive and positioning step away from the rest of the squad. Martinez credits these sessions with Tecali for his ability to handle the psychological demands of penalty shootouts. This partnership helped Martinez secure 3 consecutive Golden Glove awards, turning a long-standing position of doubt into a decisive tournament strength. This 4-part machinery achieved the unprecedented: 4 major trophies in 4 years, ending decades of absolute drought. While the cameras followed the stars on the pitch, the foundation of this era was built back on the bench. Aimar, Samuel, Ayala, and Tecali all possessed the status to chase fame and higher salaries as head coaches elsewhere.
Instead, they subverted their own egos. They chose the invisible work of repairing the team's foundation, proving that a country heals its football and culture from the shadows.